Is there one exercise that can significantly help your anxiety and propel you forward in recovery? Today, let's talk about the one exercise that I recommend most and explain how it's going to help alleviate some of your anxiety symptoms so that you can get back to feeling better. Let's get started. All right, first off, if you're suffering from severe anxiety and you're in a state of pure exhaustion, I don't want you doing any real exercising. As we're going to talk about, exercising can be great for releasing anxious energy and helping to decrease your anxious symptoms a bit. But when you have ongoing anxiety that has made you exhausted and getting through the day just seems like a monumental task itself, exercising can actually do more harm than good. So if you are in an exhausted and worn down state, listen closely. I do not want you to do the exercise that I'm recommending today. Instead, the only exercise I want you to do is to go for a 1 mile walk 4 to 5 times per week. That's it, and there will be plenty of benefits from that. For me, during my own recovery from anxiety, I was 1 to 2 months into my recovery before I began doing any real exercising. The reason I started exercising was because I had all this terribly uncomfortable, anxious energy bottled up inside of me. I mean, even when my anxiety was at its baseline, it felt like this anxious energy just sat like a ball in the pit of my stomach, and the energy coursed throughout my body. Well, I realized that I needed a release valve for all this nervous energy, and that exercise could be that release valve. So at first, I began to go for short jogs and bike rides 3 to 4 times per week. But what happened is I started to have pain in my right knee when I was running and biking. So suddenly I was forced to look for a new way to exercise. And I knew whatever I picked had to be an exercise that required only minimal knee movement. The best option that I found was swimming. At that point, I knew how to swim, but I'd never done it for exercise. So what I did is I went out and I bought a pair of goggles. I watched a few instructional YouTube videos on correct form, and I went to the local pool. I'll be honest, the first day was probably quite a spectacle. I mean, my arms and legs were crashing into the water, and I was weaving all around my swim lane like someone who couldn't pass a sobriety test. But what happened is when I stepped out of the pool after 20 minutes or so, I felt better than I had in the last couple weeks. It was as if the dial on my anxiety had just been turned down a notch or two. So at first, I wrote it off as a coincidence. But it happened again the next time, and the next time after that. Each time I climbed out of the pool, I felt better than when I climbed in. So what I realized is that swimming had this ability to take the edge off my anxiety better than any other form of exercise that I'd tried. Now, why is that? Well, what I discovered is that swimming is a very unique exercise because it is both a full body workout and a low impact exercise. This means you exercise nearly every part of your body without putting much stress on it. Those two qualities make it an ideal exercise for anxiety. But swimming sets itself even farther apart from other exercises because it has a meditative component. When you swim, there is none of the noise and distractions that tend to be present with other exercises. There are no cars or bicycles like when you're outside on a walk or a run, and you're not surrounded by people, televisions, or loud music like when you're on the elliptical at the local gym. Swimming removes all these peripheral distractions. It's just you in the water and nothing else. What this does is it allows your focus to narrow to just 2 things: your breath and your next stroke. So everything else is drowned out as you perform this rhythmic breathing exercise. You breathe in, you hold, you breathe out. You breathe in, you hold, and you breathe out. This same rhythmic breathing pattern is an effective relaxation exercise that has been around for centuries, and it's a built-in part of swimming. All right, all aspects of swimming, when combined, are what makes it one of the best exercises for anxiety. But don't just take my word for it. There have actually been studies that have proven this. For instance, a study published by the Frontiers of Psychiatry found that swimming produced a statistically significant reduction in anxiety symptoms. Even so, I do want you to keep in mind that swimming, as with any other form of exercise, is not by any means an anxiety cure. I want you to approach it with reasonable expectations for what it is. Another tool in your toolbox that can help take the edge off your anxiety and propel your recovery forward. If you do decide to try swimming, here are some final tips. Number 1, invest in a swim cap and a good pair of swim goggles. Leaky goggles will ruin a swim workout in just a couple laps, trust me. Number 2, watch a few short YouTube videos on the proper mechanics of swimming before you climb into the pool. Number 3, do not try any open water swimming. The danger of boats, a strong current, and/or changing tide are unnecessary stressors. Stick to a lifeguarded pool during recovery. Number 4, do not attempt to learn to swim during recovery. If you don't know how to swim, select a different exercise. All right, what swimming and other exercises can do is they can help you move faster through the recovery process. Now, the recovery process is outlined in the 5-step cure to anxiety and panic attacks that's in the link below. Make sure you have that. It's free, and it's going to have the right framework for you to recover from anxiety forever. It's the same framework that I use with my clients to get them to a full recovery. Now, if you found this video helpful, do me a huge favor, hit the like button and the notification button so you can get alerted when a new episode is released. Can't thank you enough for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.